welcome to this crash course.
Today we are going to be talking about the Mongol Empire.
The Mongol Empire, the largest based land empire in world history, started as a pastoral society.
These societies lived nomadic lives, moving from place to place with seasonal changes and hunting for all of their food, even though it was very hard to survive solely on the products from the animals.
Booming a state among the pastoralists was hard because of the lack of surplus in food and resources and the lack of wealth to pay for a military.
With modern warfare enabled by horseback riding, the Mongols were able to stretch from the Pacific coast of Asia to Eastern Europe, only numbering around 700,000 people. Unique to this empire, the success of the Mongols came down to one man, Genghis Khan. Surprisingly though, as Strayer says, for all of its size and fearsome reputation, the Mongol Empire left a surprisingly modest cultural imprint on the world it had briefly governed.
The rise of the empire is based on the role of a single individual, Genghis Khan. The start of the Mongol conquest was in 1209 with the first major attack on the settled agricultural societies of south of Mongolia. This attack, led by Genghis Khan, started the Mongol World War, which was a series of military campaigns, massive killing, and empire building unprecedented in the world. As Encyclopedia Britannica says, the idea of a heavenly mission to rule the world was certainly present in Genghis Khan's own mind. They also enjoyed good timing. During this period, China was divided after the Song dynasty fell and the Abbasid Caliphate was crippling. Additionally, the military was very organized and put a big emphasis on loyalty. Their military gained a reputation of brutality.
As written in Encyclopedia Britannica, the amazing military achievements of the Mongols under Genghis Khan and his successors were due to the superior strategy and tactics, rather than to numerical strength. The Black Death Plague was a catalyst of the fall of the Mongols. It caused the population to contract, cities to decline, and the trade across the Silk Roads to diminish. The Mongols lost control of their Persia, China, and Russia civilizations. Finally, the empire collapsed. Because the Mongols encompassed such a large amount of territory, they conquered places of different religions. The Mongols were religiously tolerant, having worship places for Buddhists, Taoists, Christians, and Muslims in the capital city. Their practices of religious tolerance attracted traders and missionaries. Genghis Khan and other Mongol rulers even married Christian women. The Mongols' open outlook facilitated the exchange and blending of religious ideas, also known as syncretism.
The Mongol Empire also had many technological developments and innovations. A lot of Chinese technology and artistic convention, such as painting, printing, gunpowder, weapons, compass navigation, high-temperature furnaces, and medical techniques, moved westward. For example, Muslim astronomers brought information, knowledge, and skills to China because the Mongol authorities wanted a second opinion on reading signs and portents. They also wanted help with creating accurate calendars for rituals. The Mongols also experienced great military success through new military tactics and weapons which they adopted from the people they conquered. They adopted tactics such as delayed sieges and psychological warfare.
The Mongols brought all of the regions of Eurasia into a single interacting network, allowing for the circulation of goods, information, and disease cross-culturally. They also promoted international commerce so that they could tax it. The Mongols provided a secure environment along the Silk Roads which allowed trade to thrive. They created a new phase in the history of the Silk Roads. The Mongol-ruled China was the epicenter of all of this trade, facilitating overland trade throughout the empire and oceanic routes in the Indian Ocean. Mongols incorporated a large number of conquered peoples into their military forces, which made up for their small numbers.
The conquered people were broken up and split into these units. Beyond the military, the Mongols demanded that the people they conquered serve as laborers, building roads and bridges and ferrying supplies over long distances. Craftsmen and skilled workers were identified and were spared from death, and then were often sent to remote sections of the empire where their services were required.
The Mongol armies were better led, organized, and disciplined than their opponents. They structured their army into units of 10, 100, 1,000, and 10,000 warriors. This allowed for effective command and control. They had an impressive ability to mobilize both human and material resources of their growing empire. They also had impressive discipline and loyalty to leaders of the empire. Throughout the empire, discipline was reinforced so that if any member would leave from battle, everyone was subject to the death penalty. Discipline and loyalty made it possible for the elaborate and successful tactics they practiced in battle. Their success was also attributed to their reputation for brutality. This scared and intimidated their opponents before the battle even started. But these fears were understandable. Chinggis was a brutal leader. He often chose to annihilate an area's entire population if it appeared to be challenging to govern.
While the Mongols had little lasting impact and the empire only spanned less than 200 years, what they were able to accomplish was truly amazing.
The Mongols became the first to appoint people on merit rather than family ties.
They revived and expanded trade along the Silk Roads and remained religiously tolerant, a key factor into unifying the empire.
They did this all through bloody and brutal conquest, with most armies just surrendering before the battle even began.
For an empire that started out as a poor nomadic group, the Mongols created themselves a pretty nice empire.
As Strayer says, in a flash, the Mongol warriors would defeat every army, capture every fort, and bring down the walls of every city they encountered. Christians, Buddhists, and Hindus would soon kneel before the dusty boots of the illiterate young Mongol horsemen.
Thanks for watching. See you next week.